Hi class. Okay, so this is Unit D. What I'm going to do is go through the Unit D pages with you. This isn't the assignment, but it's what you should have done or should be doing prior to doing the assignment because it helps you understand how to do the assignment at the end of the chapter. Now, this week we're talking about the CSS Box Model, which is very important. It's like the fundamentals of CSS, but it also could be where people tend to get lost because the concepts can come across intimidating or confusing. Believe me, the best way to learn it is just by doing it. As you do the code, you will start to understand the concept and the big picture versus trying to understand the big picture and then apply it. Here, application first works best. By using the box model concept, we're actually laying out our elements with CSS in your website so that you don't have to just have this plain, boring looking column of information. You can actually, move content over, create columns, multiple columns, and it's very important to use this, apply it, and eventually understand it when you start looking at applying responsive design, which is when you use CSS to change the layout depending on how big a screen size your user is using. Whether they're on a mobile device or a regular screen, you could totally change it up with CSS. And just know that is to come, but in order to apply that, you need to first understand the CSS box model. So what I'm going to do is go through the pages with you, and just know I'm using Dreamweaver. This is Dreamweaver you're seeing. The reason why I'm using Dreamweaver is because then you can immediately see the effects of my code in this window up here versus me having to go into our browser and constantly refresh for you to see the changes. You'll see them take place in this window here. But again, you can use Aptana Studio 3 to complete the assignment, or Notepad++, whatever program you're using at home, your text editor is fine. I'm just using Dreamweaver so we get a quid pro quo as far as the layout. Okay, so we are starting on page 86. And right off the bat, I do have the D1 file open. Again, the files are provided for you in Canvas, so you will want to download that file and make sure that you know where that file is and that it's all grouped together because there's the CSS script in the same folder, and you need both of them in order for this to work. Now what we're going to do is just literally follow the instructions step by step in the textbook and then make the modifications on the D1 file. So step 1 says, in your text editor, open htm_d1.html, which is done. It says also save the file as about us. We're going to leave that for now. And then it says, then repeat for the file htmd-2, save the file as styles CSS. Now, we are going to need to do that because here, as you can see, it's pointing to styles.css. So if we don't change that name, it will not know where to look. So I'm going to go in here and just click on it so I can change the name, styles.css, enter. Beautiful. Okay, so now when we start to call on it, it will be there. Oh, see, look, already immediately you see that by changing the name, it applied the styles on that CSS document. Beautiful. Then it says step 2, examine the structure of the HTML document and the styles in the style sheet. Then open About Us in the browser. So this is what it looks like right now. Number 3 says in styles CSS. Okay, so this is where we're going to actually type in some code. So I'm going to have to open styles.css. Actually, I'm going to open it from inside Dreamweaver here. I'll open desktop styles.css. Beautiful. So here's our page here, and it says to add the declaration max-width 640 pixels in the container rule before the existing declaration. So here's our container rule, and it says before the existing one, so we're going to put it above it. And then it says to type max-width, colon, 640 px, which is pixels. And remember what we do with any rule in CSS, we have to end it with a semicolon. And then step 4 says, below the first comment in the document, add a new line containing the comment, reset styles. Okay, so we're going to go down here. Okay, so our first comment is this big section up here, and it does say below the first comment, and then it wants us to add another comment. This is step 4 on page 86. I'm going to pause the video and type this in to cut down the time on this video because it's going to be a long one. So I will return in a sec. Okay, I have returned. I typed in the comment like it said, reset styles, and then I typed in the qualifiers it's asking us to type, which is the article, body, div, footer, header, H1, H2, and P, paragraph, and then open and close brackets. And then on the line 11 here, I'm going to move this up how I like it. And then it says in step 5 to type in border 0. So we're going to put a border of 0 on these elements. Now then on step 6 it said below the aside style rule. So we're going to find that here. There it is, aside. Type aside P. So we're going to add a paragraph rule on a new line. Actually, I'm going to need to click right here because it's going to be a new style, and it's going to be aside P. And then we're going to style this. Oh, actually, it's still just having us just close the bracket for now. And it said enter twice to give it space. And then on step 7, it says within the style rule you created. So here we go. The fun begins. Type bottom or border, bottom 1 pixel and solid black color, semicolon, and then enter. Then we're going to put a bottom border. I'm looking and typing at the same time, can be a little tricky. Border top, pixel, 1 pixel, solid black. Close our rule. Save your work and then reload your browser. Remember, since we're using Dreamweaver, we don't even have to open the browser. I can just go over to this one and oh, look what happened here. Remember before this was across the entire screen? Now it's collapsed over here on the side, and there is, if we scroll down, look at that, a border around this paragraph. And so if you scroll down here to understand what we just did, remember we had styled the aside tag. So see, here's the aside tag here. So it looked for this, and then we said in the paragraph to apply that border. So see, here's the paragraph right here, and when you click on it in Dreamweaver, it actually drops you down there. So see, that's why this has the border that we applied. Awesome. And then for everything else we put a border 0, and that's why you do not see the border. Perfect. Great. Fabulous. Okay, so then last but not least, it says on step 9, right click the text, what a weekend. Click Inspect Element, then in Developer Tools, click Compound, Chrome, Box Model, Firefox, or Layout in IE, so the browser of your choice. That step actually has to be done in a browser, and since I'm in Dreamweaver, I'm going to skip it. You can go ahead and do so if you are using a text editor to where you're having to use your browser to refresh and look in the effort of time. Step 10 on this page says Open About Us HTML on a handheld device such as a smartphone. So it's just having you see what your max width property did, since we added that as well. the max width does allow it to look different on a mobile device. How cool is that, right? I'm going to show you a trick in Dreamweaver when it comes to viewing different screen sizes. Now, yes, if you don't have this fancy tool, then you're not going to be able to do this. But you can always use Aptana and look, as long as you're within the same network, look on your phone at that address and check how it would look on a phone. But if you have Dreamweaver, you don't have to use different devices to see what it would look like. You actually go in the bottom right hand corner here and see where it says window size. I can click on that and it has all these default options that are most common: iPad, iPhone 4, 5, 6, iPhone Plus, Google. And so you can actually see what it would look like. So if I click on iPhone 6, it shows me what it would look like on an iPhone 6. How cool, right? And if you don't see any of the sizes you want, you can actually edit sizes and add them. So cool. Dreamweaver is awesome. And just know, again, Dreamweaver does have a lot of very cool features, but in the event you don't have it, you can just use your mobile device, point it at the address, and test what it looks like. And I do strongly suggest to test, because we do remember nowadays most people use smartphones to look at web pages. We're all guilty. So you will want to have your website as iPhone or mobile device friendly. Okay, I feel like I'm talking on. So I hope this gives you a glimpse into how to follow the pages. I'm looking at, we're already at 10 minutes, so I'm not sure I want to go through each and every page because really long videos can be really boring. I understand watching them can be mundane. So I believe I've given you enough to start out and continue to work on the unit. If not, let me know. For those that are having questions, I'm really hoping you at least work through the pages before asking them, because the pages walk you through literally step by step. It says step 1, do this, step 2, do this, and read the small print because it tells you why. If you don't read the small print, you may not know why you're doing what you do. And so for example, when we went in on step 5 and it said within the style rule you created type border 0, it then goes on and tells you what you just did. It says this removes the border from all the elements displayed. So that fine text is very important. Make sure you read it, absorb it. If you have any questions, let me know. I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday. I missed you all this last Tuesday. And that's it.